I want to talk to you about this whole thing that happened in the media this week with Barack Obama, the president, the professor of Harvard, Henry Louis Gates, and Officer Crowley from Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's what everybody and their mama are talking about now. And as you know by now, Professor Gates returned from a trip, according to the report that we're getting. Professor Gates returned from a trip, out-of-town trip. When he arrived home, he could not get into his home. And so he and his driver, who was a black man, were trying to, I guess, push the door open with their shoulders, at least one of the guys. And someone saw them, and it looked as though they were trying to break into the home. The witness called the police and said it looked like a break-in next door. The police officer showed up, and when he arrived, according to the story, Professor Gates was in his home. He had gotten in some kind of a way. The officer went up to the door, and just to make sure everything was fine, he asked the professor to show his ID, that he was checking out a break-in. He wanted to make sure this is the right guy in the home. And then he also asked the professor, was anybody else in the home, according to the story. But when he asked the professor for this black guy for his ID, to show his ID, he said no, according to the story. No, I'm not going to show my ID. And I guess they kind of stayed at it for a while, and he finally showed his ID from the school that he works at. It had no picture on it, according to the story. So he said, let me see a picture ID. And at that point, the professor asked, why do you want to see it? It's because I'm black? And just one thing led to another one, according to the witnesses. And so the officer at some point asked the guy to come outside and let's talk. He said, yeah, I'll talk to your mama. Your mama. Here's the professor now of Harvard, an older man, speaking in that manner. And so, long story short, he ended up taking the professor to jail for disorderly conduct. And they started to cry racism, and they let the guy out. They dropped the charges, eventually dropped the charges, which I thought was wrong, because if he broke the law, he needed to go through the same process that we will have to go through had we broken the law. But because of what he does, and the professor was quoted as saying, do you know who I am? You don't know who you're messing with. Like, just because he's a professor at a school, if you break the law, it doesn't matter who you are. If the president breaks the law, he should go to jail, or whatever the law requires, whatever the punishment is. But the guy they dropped the charges. And so President Obama held a press conference about the nationalized health care. And at the end of the press conference, a reporter got up and asked about that incident and asked, did he think it has anything to do with racism? And Obama said, Professor Gates is his friend, and he knows the guy, and he thought that the police officer acted stupidly. And he said that he went on to say that America has a history of black men being stopped, while driving, and we have a history of racism. So he added to that. He also said, well, I don't know what happened, I wasn't there, but the cop acted stupidly. And when he said that, all hell broke loose. And so everybody and their mama, almost everybody and their mama have been talking about it. I have two people here who didn't know about it, so not quite everybody and their mama are talking about it, but mostly everybody and their mama. And now there's this divide there between the races again, like no other time. I think it's worse now than ever before. I thought that Jesse Jackson and the NAACP and other had, divided the races and they couldn't be divided anymore. But I think it's worse now. Some people say that they feel that Obama should not have said that. And most of you here say you feel that he should not have said it. I am, the subject today is our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil. It's not between blacks and whites, men against women, but it's a battle between right and wrong, good and evil. And people don't really see that that's what's going on. They get involved as though it's a physical battle, and they're trying to fight a spiritual battle in a physical manner. And as long as you're trying to fight it in that way, you're not going to win. You're absolutely not going to win. You're not going to win in your private life, your personal life. You're not going to win in your public life as long as you think that it is a physical battle. It is absolutely not. This is why God said that we must be born again so that we can see that the battle is a spiritual battle. I'm glad that the president said what he said. And the reason for that, normally when he speaks by teleprompter. So those are not the words from his heart. God said that when we speak from our heart. We speak. So if you want to know what a person's like, listen to what they say. Then you can know their heart. And so when he spoke from his heart, and now we know what type of person we have running the White House. So I'm glad that it happened. He did the right thing. Now, I know in the intellectual world, they'll say, oh, no, he should not. But we're supposed to speak from our heart. I think if we demanded that the politicians and the preachers and the people who represent us speak from the heart, we really see the kind of folks who are getting in before we vote for them. Yes, ma'am.
I think that everything that is lawful is not necessarily expedient. I mean, a lot of things we think, I don't think it's wise that we say them just because it could be very damaging.
Right, but at least you know where the person is coming from when they speak. That's how you know the person, because you speak from the heart. But if I have a written message and I'm reading a teleprompter that's been thought through, most of the time what's in there is not going to be the truth. It's guarded words. I'm not going to tell you, you're not going to see the real me. But if I can speak from my heart, you're going to see the real me. And now America see the type of person that they have elected. And they now know it's going to show them what they need to do at this point. It's like when you're dating, if the person speaks from their heart, you can tell who you're about to marry. And some people, they do speak from their heart when they're dating, and they tell lies, but the ego loves lies, so you end up marrying a liar anyway, because you're glad they're lying to you. But you need to watch the way people speak if you want to know where they're coming from. And you could tell when they're being phony, when they're a hypocrite, when they're lying, if you listen closer to what they're saying, then you can see what to do, the next step to take. But you got to love truth and not love lies. The one thing, yes, ma'am. The one thing that was left out of what the president said, and is left out of this dialogue, and that's why I want to talk to you about love, and that this battle that we're fighting is a spiritual battle. It's a battle between good and evil. And the one thing that is clear to me, and may be clear to others, but I know it's clear to me, and I'm always talking about it. I've been talking about it for the last 20 years. Not all, not all, not all. You understand me saying not all, right? The one thing I realize is that most black people don't have love for the white man. They don't have love for their fellow white brothers and sisters, for the white man. They hate him. And so when the president said that, it revealed that he has the same hatred for white Americans. Because had he been honest about it, if he didn't have that anger there, he should have dealt with the issue. He should have said, you know what, the police has authority. You know, he was doing his job. The guy should be thankful that he showed up. There was no need, even if it is your friend, there was no need to call the guy a racist. There was no need to get angry. And if the officer was out of control, there were steps he could have taken later about it. So that was wrong. That's what the right thing to say. But to say America has a history of and the cops has a history of treating black people in this way, only added to the anger of black people. Because yes, police officers stop black folks, but we have a history of committing crimes because the parents have not raised their children in the right way to go. And black young men have a history of committing crimes in their neighborhoods, disrespecting authority, children born out of wedlock. They have a history of robbing white women, taking their purses while walking down the streets. I work with black men all the time, and I hear this all the time. They think it's cool to take an old woman's purse, a white woman's purse. So we have a history of committing crimes. But the so-called leadership have told black folks that if the cops stop you, they're doing it because they're racist. So that anger is already there. The anger is there from coming from bad homes. And now they're angry at the cops from stopping them, because when you're angry, it's easy to believe a lie. And now blacks are being told you're being stopped because you are black. Not because we have a history. And it's unfortunate that the good have to suffer with the bad sometimes. We haven't raised our children right. We have allowed black people to deceive us, to tell us that there's a race war going on, even when it's not. And we're angry about it. And when you're angry, you can't see the truth. Obama left out the fact that we have not raised our children properly. That's why police officers stop us. Crime is out of control in the inner cities. That's why the officers are stopping us. And we all know this. This is not new. Everybody, if you live in America, you know what's going on, but you won't be honest about it. If you're going to tell the story about black people being stopped by the cops, why not tell them why? Yes, we're being stopped. I remember I've been stopped by police when I was angry. I've been stopped by police officers too. The last time I was stopped, it was 2 white cops, a male and a female. And I was on my way to work. I never forget it. I had my janitorial service. I was going to work at night. And they stopped me, and I don't even know why. And this lady had this gun on me, and she was like screaming, "Get out on the car," or whatever they say, right? And I'm thinking, this woman gonna kill me. And God protected me that I did not get real angry in that situation and act out, because that woman looked so nervous as though she was gonna kill me. And in my state of anger, I thought, they're stopping me because I'm black. And that's why they're doing it. And that makes you mad, because that's what the devil tells you, right? But when I got over my anger, I realized that I'm suffering along with the bad as a black man, because we have not cleaned up our neighborhoods. Black people are afraid of black people. Black adults are afraid of black teenagers. They're afraid to correct them for fear of getting cursed out or shot. They're afraid of getting killed. And so if we don't be honest about those things and deal with those things, how are we going to make things better? Accusing the officers is not going to change it. When this Gates went off on the police officer, calling him racist and your mama and being stopped because I'm black, that didn't do the problem any good. But that's what's being taught to young people. And now when they're stopped, that's the first thing they say. I'm being stopped because I'm black, even if they have committed a crime. And these black kids are doing it to white school teachers and everybody. And the white teachers are being blamed for it. How are we going to get this better if the president don't tell the truth about what's going on, and if we don't tell the truth? We got to love one another. I'm glad he said it. And I hope you open your eyes and see what you're dealing with. He didn't speak from the teleprompter this time. But we haven't cleaned up our neighborhood, and that's why it's happening. And if all the white people stop, if all the cops stop stopping us, if they let us go, we're going to have hell to pay. It's not going to stop black on black crime. It's not going to stop out of wedlock birth. It's going to get worse. We need something to stop us. But black people won't be honest about it. Black Americans need to repent. They absolutely need to repent. They need to love the white man. Dr. King said it. He said, overcome evil with good. We're coming out of this situation. Don't come out of it with bitterness. Come out of it with love. And I don't see love in the black community. You should hear some of the stuff that they're saying now in the media. These so-called black intellectuals, what they're saying. I heard a guy, I debated this guy too, a black professor from Princeton. What's that guy named, Patrick? Michael Earl Dyson. You can't get any eviler than he is. He was on the media this morning saying that, oh, this is really great. We need this debate going. The Attorney General said that we were cowards in dealing with racism. Not only do we need to deal with the racism, but we need to make it easier or change the laws for black people who go to jail. We need to prevent them from being punished so harshly in jail. I'm like, this is evil. This is evil right here, working right now. The unfortunate thing is that because white Americans are afraid, all this stuff going to come about and we all going to suffer for it. when you are accusing the police officer for doing their jobs because they're white, when you're accusing the white man of holding you down and hating the white man, and calling yourself a man or woman of God, you're a liar and the truth is not in you. That is not love. And we got to be honest about this. It's the truth that's going to set us free. We got to literally tell the truth about what's going on. And for these adults in these high positions to act this way and say and do what they say is evil because they're teaching the next generation to hate as well. They have given them a reason to hate. The president's words carry power because he is the president and it influences others. And now his words have created a hatred between the races that can, I don't know, it can cause a destruction that we don't want to have to deal with. Yesterday I spoke at a Tea Party rally and there were a couple of black people there challenging me. And one thing that one of the guys said was, we need to know our history. He said, the problem with black America, we don't know our history. We need to go all the way back to Africa, learn our history, back to slavery. And then if we learn our history, then we will become a better people. How many people agree with that? Only one? Two people?
It's okay to know your
Three? So what?
I believe that we need to learn our history.
And then we'll be a better people?
Well, I don't know how better, but I'm interested in learning my history.
I'm telling you. So you don't think knowing our history will make us better?
I don't know, Jess. It could be a help. I don't know. I disagree on a lot of things you're saying today.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Good. What do you? I love people who disagree.
Bring it on.
And what do you disagree about?
Because I think we're all in the United States, in this world. And it's good and bad, and all nationalities. And you hamper on the people of color.
Right.
To me,
I do.
think it's so unfair because she does bad things, he does bad things. We're all in this world together.
Right.
We all need to love one another, black, white, all nationalities.
Right.
So to me, I believe the history would do us good. And to me, the Caucasian white people, it would do them good to know our history too.
What good would it do them?
Well, to me, they'll understand it's better.
Then
because
they understand why we act so crazy?
They still lynching in some parts of the South. They still hate. KKK is there. So to me, we all have a problem. We
Right.
all have a problem. And to me, for you to, and I know you mean well, because I still come.
And you better not stop. I know where you live.
But I do believe that if white people know our history, and I know their history as well. You know, I want us all to love, and like you say, John, he wants us all to love, no matter what color you are, no matter what nationality you are.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
So what is always black, 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 black? Come on, let's face it. We all have made mistakes. We all have broken the law. We all
I don't disagree with that.
So why don't you? Okay.
Let me just say this to you. For children of God, history doesn't matter. Because for children of God, there is no history.
Amen.
There is no such thing as history. All you have is now. When you come into the presence of God, all you have is this moment. History is an illusion of your imagination. It's not even real. All that stuff that happened in history has faded away and gone, except in your mind. It doesn't even exist. It's all made up. It's a lie. And if you found out that a black man invented the stop sign, all you're going to do is get an ego feeling from that for a moment, but you're still going to be a hell of a person. Mean, hateful, bad to your children, treating one another wrong, hating your fellow man, but you feel warm because a black man did a light pole. that's not gonna, I started to sound black. That ain't gonna change your heart at all. It's not gonna change your spirit at all. It's gonna add to your hatred. Because now you're gonna say, why wasn't I told that? I didn't know that. There is no history. All you have is now when you're born again, when you can see that. People who want to live in the past are people who are living in darkness. What good is that? It's not going to do you any good. It's not going to make you go out and build a light sign. And even if you went out and built another one, you're still going to be an angry, lost person. There is no history. There's no history. It's an illusion. Those things have faded away and gone. It happened in its time. It faded away and gone. Remember when we had afros? They're gone now. They happened then. Would we want to live in the memory of afros and feel good? It's an illusion, folks. And somebody made the point. If black people learn and black and whites, learn every bit of history that black people did, let's find out that Jesus Christ was black with an afro, and he had stay afro to put on it. Black people will still be hated. It's not going to change anything. When you're born again, you're going to see that those things don't mean anything. Why focus on the past or the future when all you have is now? And why not live now with love, perfect love? Loving your fellow man, meaning that you tell them the truth, you don't agree with the evil, you tell them the truth, you don't hold it against them, and just live your life. Whatever happened last night is done, it's over, it's faded away, except in your mind. The liars are telling you that you need history. Professor Gates knows history, and look how he acted with the police officer. He has to know black history. He teaches W.D. Du Bois black history class. But look how his anger came out when the officer went there to do his job. That's not, history is not going to change anything. When police officers stop me now, if they're yelling and screaming and being mean, I'm calm, letting them yell and scream. And if I feel that they treated me wrong, I'll go downtown and file a report. I'm not going to let it affect my soul. I'm not going to go off and put my life at risk like that. History is not, you must be born again of the Spirit of God. That's what's going to change your life. And everything that, all this stuff being said is what you've been fed in your head to believe. It is, yes, there are, right. Let me tell you this. Let me say this. Let me say this. Yes, there are mean people out there. You live with some mean folks. But you don't have a right to hate them.
I don't hate them.
No.
You do not have a right to hate them.
But you can't forget your past either.
Yes, you did. God said, let it go.
Get past.
What good would it do to hold on to it?
If you don't, how can you profit, or how can you be a better person if you haven't lived or something has happened to you in the past?
Very good question. The guy asked the same thing yesterday. He said, how can you live a good life if you don't live in the past? And profit you if you don't know the past. He said to me, didn't your past make you what you are today? And I said, no. My past did not make me what I am today. God changing my heart, taking away my anger, bringing me into the light, changed my life and made me what I am today.
Amen.
It had nothing to do with my past. He changed my heart, and that's what made me better. I want you guys to know this too, because I still hear some of you thinking that if you knew history, if you did this and all that, that somehow or another that's going to make you a better person. It is not.
I know.
It is not. It's not going to change. It's not going to change one heart. Now let me just say this. I do believe that the contribution that black Americans made to this country should be a part of the history books. It should be in the classroom and taught as normal and regular as any other thing, but not even taught as black history, as American history. This is what happened in America. These are the people, don't even put the black stuff in there because it's just going to work on the mind. Okay. They're still going to separate the races. It should be, if I was out there fighting for that kind of stuff, that would be my fight, to just include it in the books. Yeah. So when kids go to school, they will learn, and it'll just encourage them to go out and build a light pole, but it's not going to change their life. It's not going to. They'll get a lot of money from it. They become very famous, but if they are not born again of the Spirit of God, they're still going to be insecure. They're going to have doubt. They're going to have worries. They're going to have fear. They're going to make bad decisions. They're going to live a bad life. It's not going to change the spirit at all. As a matter of fact, God tells us to overcome those things. He tells us to be in the world, but not of it. There is no history, folks, I'm telling you. It just, when it happened in the time. And it's over now. And all we have, when you're born again, you will see that all you have is this very moment. That's all you have. There's nothing else. But when you're angry, when you have resentment in your heart, you're living in your imagination, you think that last year was better and tomorrow's going to be better, and you're not appreciating what you have now. But that's why you must be born again. You need to get to know yourself. 99.999% of the people repeat what they've done in the past. They may do it with a different person, but it's the same thing. They do not get over it. They tell themselves, I'm not going to do this again. And they end up doing the same thing again. They keep repeating it. They do not learn from the past. Look at your own personal lives and see how often you repeat the past. And you tell yourself you're not going to do it. You learn. I learned from that. I would never do that again. And they end up doing it again.
Right.
I know people in our relationship. I would never, and women say, I would never sleep with another man until I'm married. I thought that was love. And as soon as they meet the next guy, what they do? Hop in bed. Because this is better. The devil lied to them. This one is better. So let's get it on, said Marvin Gaye. But people don't learn from their past. They repeat the past over and over again. And you will continue to do it over and over again until you have a new spirit. Until you have a new spirit, you must be born again. And so is this all lies that you learn from your past? You don't learn from your past. You really don't. It's just that you don't know yourself well enough to see that you're not learning from the past. It's all lies, folks. Honestly, it's just all lies. You do not learn from your past. Angry people that don't repent and forgive, they die angry. And they say, oh, I'm not going to be angry next time. Parents tell their children, I'm not going to be mean. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to do it again. And the first incident come up, they go off again and make their kids angry, repeating itself. You don't learn from your past. If you doubt me, watch yourself this week and see how often you're doing the same thing over and over again. You don't learn from it because it's spiritual. It is stuck in your soul. And it controls you. And it makes you do the things you don't want to do. This is why you must be born again. The world is lying to you about all this stuff. You're listening to the world. You're not listening to the Spirit of God within you. You're listening to the world and you're not paying attention to yourself. You must be born again. You must be born again, folks. You don't change from the past. There is no past. And black folks got to repent. Black people need to stop hating. And I say, let me answer that real fast. I have, 2 minutes left? The reason I say black people, because nobody else is telling black people the truth about this. I'm the only one out there telling black people the truth about this. I'm like Moses out there. He tried to tell the Jews what to do. And he went for years telling them they need to repent. Isn't that true? He told them over and over and over. And the Jews were like, why are you telling us? Why don't you tell the Gentiles the same thing? But his calling was to tell the Jews to repent. I'm saying to black America, you need to repent. You need to stop hating. And don't worry about what the white man is doing. White folks taking care of themselves. And if they hate you, fine, you need to love them. But you need to repent. You need to stop hating. And once you stop hating, God is going to protect you, and there's nothing on earth that can stop you. But black Americans need to repent. And they need to stop talking about, why are you just telling us? White people doing it too. When you go to God to apologize for your sin, do you say, oh, Lord, I'm so sorry. I have sinned. But that lady down the street did it too. My husband or my wife did it too. Do you tell God that? No. God said that you need to repent. You need to love. Because perfect love protects you. It casts out all fears. It casts out all doubts. That makes sense?
Yes.
You guys got to stop listening to the world. You're listening to the world. They are liars. They're deceivers. They're of their father, the devil. I appreciate you tuning in.